And I'm hoping that this telephone call, which is something that was unusual, they don't do this all the time. So perhaps there was some important information in terms of the U.S. position, the NATO position, where the West is, that perhaps Z can send to Moscow and to Putin.
Our Chuck Todd talked today, actually on this network, just within the last 2 hours, to the mayor of Kyiv. I want to play a little bit of that for you, Jim. Watch.
Nobody have the safety in our city. Nobody have safety in our country. It's every citizen of our country is target, especially self-government. The Russians try to kidnap the mayors of another city. I don't think about me by myself, but I more care about the citizens.
I mean, the targeting of innocent people, right? The targeting of these civilians here, the deaths of them, takes this to I think, a level that is just gut-wrenching for so many people. And yet Russia's defense has continued to be, as you well know, Jim, well, you know, we think that Ukrainian troops, these are hiding. I mean, it's all just, it feels like it's just covering their tracks at this point.
Right. No, that's exactly right. They are just, they're denying it's even happening. But I think the Zelensky video that he showed the Congress presented that raw picture of what's really happening. And these are war crimes. And how can they be anything else? This is deliberate targeting of civilians. They're saving their precision munitions for those targets that, like the logistics, like the airport that we saw earlier. That's what those PGMs and the precision-guided munitions are being used for. What's happening in the city is just gravity bombs, so-called dumb bombs, or ballistic missiles, this indirect fire from artillery. They're just bringing terror to these cities. They're doing what they did in Chechnya. Putin was in charge of that. So this is his playbook. And we're seeing this happen every single day, praying that his ammunition stocks run low, and that might give us somewhat of a lull if that can happen.
Jim Townsend, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your expertise and your perspective. We are waiting, as we mentioned, for that White House briefing to begin. Press Secretary Jen Psaki delivering, hopefully, presumably more insight into that President Biden phone call that happened today. Plus, coming up, Republican versus Republican over some of the basics, like whether Putin or Zelensky is the bad guy, while Democrats compare the fight to save democracy there to the fight to save democracy here at home. Plus, the investigation into whether former President Trump's chief of staff committed voter fraud while potentially committing voter fraud himself. That's an open question being looked at in North Carolina. Also this hour, our new NBC News reporting on the Republican race for Senate in Pennsylvania. Which candidate, our sources say, has the backing of one famous Mar-a-Lago person?